The greatest ideas have come from sitting on the toilet. Every day, some company, individual, or group is known for giving the public a load of bullshit. Come here to get your daily dose of shit by Alan Cousin. It's time you hear the shit everyone wants to know.
Hello there. Welcome to your daily dose of shit with your host, Alan Cousin. That would be I. Today on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. Yes, it is the first day of October. All right, first day of October. Woohoo. That means basically what to me? Nothing, actually. It just means that it's another day, another time. But like I said, welcome to your daily dose of shit. Let's see what we can talk about today and see if it's actually worth my time and basically worth yours as well. I will start off fresh with the whole news of Israel and Iran. Yes, let's go into it, why don't we? Israel and Iran. Iran basically decided they are starting a war against Israel. In fact, they wanted to make sure that they made sure the world knew they were starting a war against Israel, because they launched about 180 ballistic missiles at Israel in retaliation for Tel Aviv's attack on Lebanon to pursue the Hezbollah military. So 180 ballistic missiles, I think you're pretty much saying we're at war. I mean, you're not, and you're just saying, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to shoot 180 missiles at y'all. They pressed the wrong button. You know how it is. So many buttons, they're all the same. No, they're basically saying, look, we're ready to kick your ass, okay? So, what you must understand, though, many people don't think about this. First of all, it's a holy war. It's always been a holy war, When America attacks places, it's because they want something. Whether they tell you they're doing it because they're defending America for this or that, it's basically, we want something, so we're going to get it, so we're going to attack, and we're going to act as if we're actually just doing self-defense, but really, we're attacking because we want something that you have. Well, we can't politically state that we want something that you have because that would make us look like greedy individuals in a greedy country, which basically we are, but we don't need people to know that. We don't want people to think about that. Whereas, of course, countries like Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Israel, Jerusalem, they have been in wars for the decades and centuries of time, even before Christ was born. Because it's always been a holy war. It's holy land. It's always determined on, certain things that was basically in the Torah or certain chapters and events that occurred in the Bible or, some biblical event that basically caused wars that continued on. Now, one thing you have to understand, though, that you really need to focus on when it comes to certain countries like Afghanistan, Jerusalem, Israel, Iran, Iraq, is that these individuals are not afraid to die. Like, they literally, when they're ready to do war, they're not worried about dying. They're just worried about winning. Here in America, we got individuals that say that, hey, I'll get a gun, send me to war, whatever. But then when that draft kicks in, you're like, yeah, I changed my mind. Not ready, don't want to go. I'm dodging the draft, Where they're like, oh, we're going at war? Okay, no problem. Give me the artillery. Let's do this. And I'm talking about kids, 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old. They don't care. They will be there to basically protect their country, to protect what they believe in, and they will not be afraid to die. And the reason I know this is when I first started Get Up Radio a long time ago, back in about 2000 and I think it was 3 or 4, no, 6, I think it was 6, when they had that, I think it was the the Saudi War, the Gulf War. Can't remember when the Gulf War was, but when they had the Gulf War, I distinctly remember, I had my internet radio station. Of course, I was playing, all over the country, basically. If you had internet, basically, you can hear me, right? And I'll never forget, I got an email from this kid that was part of the Gulf War, But this kid was like 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, basically. And he said, to whoever owns this radio station, my name is, and I'm not going to say his name, basically, but my name, is so and so. And I am currently fighting in this Gulf War. And I would love if y'all can play Notorious Big Biggie Small song for me, because I need to hear it, as I need to continue to be confident about fighting and winning in this war. Now imagine this, you're basically owning a radio station, and you're getting an email from a 14, 15-year-old kid who's part of this Gulf War, and all he's requesting is that you play a certain songs from Notorious Big, because basically that's his role model, and he needs to hear that so he can boost his confidence, towards fighting this war. Of course, you know what I did, right? I played the whole freaking album of Notorious Big for him. I mean, like, look, this kid's got a AR-14 in his, hands, trying to survive and fighting this war. All he's asking for is some music. Hell, I need to give him all the music I can give him, And I did that. And surprisingly enough, I would say about a week later, he emailed me back and he said, to whoever owns the station, thank you so much. It helped greatly. I did well and didn't lose any arms, hands, or get shot in any place. I was happy to hear that, of course, but like I said, he is 14 to 15 years old. He is basically in a war and not afraid to die. That says a lot about an individual. That says a lot about the characteristics of an individual when they're not afraid to die. I remember when I used to be in New Orleans, and basically I had good friends of mine who were part of gangs and, so forth. And like I said, if you see those videos with Redman and, Birdman and, Lil Wayne and, Pimp Daddy, I mean, these things are real. That was not us playing around. Like, let me make up this, imaginary stories. No, this is the real deal. Like, they were gangsters. Like, I was part of a gang. I was called G Money back in my day. I'm not going to go into all that, of course. But yeah, I was part of a gang, and I was part of the Gentleman Posse. Because we called ourselves the Gentleman Posse because we were gentlemen, but we were all about respect. So, and if you disrespected us, we made sure to let you know that you would never do it again. So, like I said, it had all forms of gangsters and organizations in New Orleans, and, because you had to basically find a way to stay alive, to live, to protect yourself. I mean, because you just never knew one day if somebody just come out blasting, or if you had a, person do a drive-by. I mean, it happens. Or when we used to be at the lake all the time. I never forget, we'd be at the lake chilling on a Sunday, having some barbecue or some crabs, legs, and some crawfish, drinking some alcohol. Next thing you know, and everybody's ducking, ready, heading for the car, dishing out, because that was a normal thing. It wasn't like, oh my God, like, it was like, normal thing, gotta head out, gotta protect myself, I mean, people don't understand when you live in places like Chicago, New York, New Orleans, Arkansas. These are places that are notorious for having gangs, having gang wars, having gang violence, and basically you have to find a way to live and survive. And if you didn't find a way to survive, you didn't survive. Simple as that. So I salute the individuals in the Taliban. I salute the individuals in Israel and Jerusalem and Iran, Iraq, because those are soldiers, man. They're true soldiers, okay? Just being straight honest with you, because they are handling business and they're not cracking no question marks. They're not considering no gray areas. No, they're straight out. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it, and that's the way it's going to be done. And straight up, they're like, if you do this, we're going to do this. And if you do that, they're not going to say, okay, well, you did it. We're going to think about it. We changed our mind. We're going to give you another chance. No, you did something you wasn't supposed to do. And they said, if you did it, we're going to do this. Guess what? It's going to be done. So, like I said, it's in war now. Whether the U.S. is going to interfere or assist, don't know. Hey, we'll find out. But I'm just basically saying, from my standpoint, I respect them for what they do. I respect them for how strong they are. I respect them for how admirable and honorable they are, because not many people are like that. Not many people have respect for others. Not many people are honorable. Not many people say something and, basically when they say it, they mean it. A lot of people out there are fakes. A lot of people out there basically say one thing but do another. So you have to respect individuals that are able to keep up with what they say and are not afraid to, handle business when business needs to be handled. So, but another thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about this whole situation of economics, meaning these stores and the prices of inflation. When things go bad, right? They never get better. They only get worse. Let's just be straightforward, okay? It never goes to the point where the snowball becomes smaller. It just becomes larger and it just grows faster and gets better, worse, in the situation as it grows. What I mean is basically 12 a.m. today, the port, people that work on the port, like by the river and so forth, they want more money. I wonder why they want more money. Well, let's think about it. Inflation went up, recession still kicking in. It's hard to survive basically on just necessity of life, not just luxuries of life, just the necessities of life. It's hard to survive, right? So you have to think about that situation of, okay, I can't pay for my baby's Pampers, my baby's food, trying to still pay for rent, trying to pay for my electricity, my water, and yet inflation's just kicking my ass, right? So, yeah, I need more money. Oh, well, I can't do that for you, Stuart. Sorry, man. You just got to do what you got to do. Yeah, you need this job as much as I need this job. So, hey, don't cause no problems, bro. Just be happy you got a job. Man, you don't get it, though, man. You don't get it. The work I'm doing here, I deserve more money. I need more money. Well, you know what? You just want to talk to the union because, yeah, that's out of my hands. So you talk to the union, right? Well, Stuart, I understand what you're saying, but at this time with the recession, inflation, and all that, it's not going to happen. Well, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't come to work. Well, hey, you got to come to work, okay? Oh, I got to come to work? Oh, I got to come to work? Okay, fine. Let me show you how I got to come to work. How about I ain't coming to work? And let me tell you, don't ever tell a person who's in a demanding field and don't get paid enough that they have to come to work, especially in a field that's not easy to replace. Because you have to understand, there are certain jobs, yes, if a person quits, you're like, not a problem. We got like 10 or 20 more people as applicants waiting to take this job. Hey, that's cool. But when you're talking about jobs like for the port or police officers or firemen or border patrol, these are not jobs people are just itching to get into, okay? They're not itching to go on a port and have to deal with, handling crates and barrels and containers of stuff. No, they're not trying to be in a manual labor job, by the way, okay? Think about it. Manual labor job. You think people are jumping, oh yeah, let me get to construction, man. Yeah, let me get into that port field. Yeah. Mom, I'm ready to just pump it up, baby. No. They're like, not so much. Let me go see what other job I can get. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I admire these people at the port, okay? Hey, you're doing what you need to do, right? You got to get it going. You got to get that money, right? Exactly. You understand? You got to get that money. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the dollar, right? If you want me to work, then you got to pay me to work. If you want me to work harder, then you got to pay me more to work harder. So guess what? I can't get mad at them. I'm not going to get mad at them. Because guess what? You got to do what you got to do. Because you got to take care of your own. So how long is this going to last? That's the question I need to worry about. That's the question you need to worry about. You know what? Because guess what? Almost everything in the world that the United States uses doesn't come from the United States. It ain't the 1950s, 60s, and 70s anymore, You ain't got made in the USA on your tag on your shit, You got made in